In this video, we're going to do an oil change on this 2015 Hyundai Sonata. So here's our engine oil dipstick. We're going to pull that out. Going to take a rag and we're going to look at that. See what it looks like now versus when we're done. We're also going to clean that. And you can see on our dipstick that we have a full mark and a low mark. When we refill our oil, we're going to be between the full and low, closer to the full side. So now that this is clean, we can set it aside. Now we can open our engine oil cover or cap. We're just going to wipe that off so we can set it aside and not make a mess. So now we're underneath our vehicle. Our oil filter is underneath this cover. You can see here that there's a piece of this splash shield that's removable, held in by 10mm bolts. We're going to go ahead and remove that now. Now our vehicle was missing one. And now your cover should come right off. So here's our oil pan, here's our drain plug. It's going to be a 17mm. Before you take this out, you're going to want to make sure you have some kind of catch pan or basin ready to collect your oil. We do have that ready, so we're going to take out our bolt now. All right, so at this point, it's empty. What we're going to do is put our drain plug back in. Just going to finger tighten that up and then clean this area. And we'll come back and torque that down. So now we're going to torque down our drain plug to 30 foot-pounds. Then we're going to come back and clean that area. And what I like to do here is clean the area with brake clean. Wipe it dry, and this will help you identify any leaks that may develop. So in front of our oil pan is our oil filter. I'm going to try and unscrew that now. And remember, you're going to have some oil leak out, so we have our collection pan right underneath there as well. And we're just going to let this do its thing for a minute. All right, now we can just continue spinning off our oil filter. Remember, there will, even though some's dripped out, there will still be a full oil filter here. So we're going to take this right off of the threads and straight down into our collection bucket. All right, before we install our new filter, we're going to have to prime the filter, which means we're going to have to fill this up with fluid. So we have our engine oil, and we're going to fill our filter. Now this is going to take a little bit of time for that oil to soak into the paper filter inside, so don't be surprised if you have to fill it a few times. And what I'm doing here is just rotating it so it gets all the paper filter wet with oil. Just helps this process speed up a little bit. So it looks like we've just about reached the top, where the filter is pretty well saturated. What we're going to do now is just take a dab of that oil on our finger and run it along this big flat O-ring here. This is going to go up and make a nice seal when we thread in our filter. Okay, so before we put our filter on there, we're still dripping just a little bit of oil. What we're going to do is just wipe that area where our new O-ring is going to sit. Make sure we have a nice clean surface. And we're going to take our new filter and thread it on. All right, once you've got it as tight as you can get it, go ahead and reach up in there with two hands and give it as much of a turn as you can. Okay, now to finish off down the bottom here, we're going to take a look back here at our oil pan, make sure we still have no leaks. We shouldn't. We have no fluid in it. Everything looks good. We can put our cover back on and just line that up. We're going to take a couple of these bolts by hand and thread them in. And what that'll allow us to do is let go. Grab our 10mm socket, put the rest of our bolts in. Now we're back up top. We're going to add in some engine oil. Now, our cap here has a recommendation of oil, 5W20. You're going to want to follow that. It's going to be 5.1 fluid quarts, and that is including the oil filter that we just primed. So we're going to add in our oil now. Okay, so here's 4.5 quarts. What we're going to do now is check our dipstick a couple of times, meaning we're going to put it in all the way, seated all the way in. We're going to pull it out and disregard this first reading. Not even going to look at it. We're going to put our dipstick back in. Okay, you can see our oil level is between the full and the low. We still have a 1/2 quart to go, so we'll keep adding. What we'll do now is leave our dipstick in. Pour in the final 1/2 quart. At this point, we're going to check our engine oil. Look through the dipstick again. And you can see we have a nice fluid level, nice clean fluid. We're right at the full mark. Now we can go ahead and take out our funnel. We can put our engine oil fill cap back on. And at this point, you're going to want to run your vehicle, run it to operating temperature, shut your vehicle down, let it cool down, recheck your engine oil. If you need to add any oil to get to the full level, go ahead and do that then. If not, you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.